A very warm good evening, should we say? Yeah, it's not really evening right now. Warm good evening to everybody. Why is everybody so serious about education? Education is fun, I guess, yeah. One of my fortes, I don't know about everything else, but one of my fortes is I love humor. And I think humor is the best part of life. And I think that's not taught in the textbooks. Right? So I think humor is something very essential. They say a smile is a curve that sets things straight, straightens up. So I guess we have to have a bit of humor, and please teach that humor, ladies and gentlemen, to your friends, family, and if you are a teacher, then to the kids. Trust me, that's one element I'm finding. Maybe it's a skill, I don't know. Maybe Dr. Srivastava will tell us it's a skill or not. And statistically speaking, what is the skill part of it? But it is lacking. And I think we need that. Happiness quotient of India is pretty low. Hyderabad is a little lower. So I guess we have to raise it and keep smiling, and life is not that bad. Taking off from what Dr. Srivastava said, I was very interested because that's close to my heart. The National Education Policy 2019 is one come up right now, and the last time that it came up, guess when was it? Some of you were not born also, I think. 1975. Anybody was born at that time? My contemporaries maybe. So 1975, it said 10 plus 2 plus 3. Today is 2019, it says 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. All numbers, I don't know what it means. Ultimately, it starts from somewhere and ends somewhere. And the product that goes out after these 5 plus 3s and 3s and 4s is just the same. It's got a little shade worse now. I'll tell you why. We have a generation, I'm pretty old right now, so we have a generation which we were caned, we were slapped, we were hit in the schools, and we studied and we laughed and we joked and we grew up. And we are perfectly normal people, I think. Am I right? There's nothing wrong with us, our generation. We are very happy people, but we were hit also by the teachers, and nothing happened. No parents ever complained. What's happening today? So I'll give you one little scenario which you have to imagine. Imagination skill, just put it on. Imagine there's one picture and there's another picture, all right? And one picture, this I got from the WhatsApp, you know, supposed to be very, very technically sound, but I'm not that. So it's a picture first, and there's a table, and there's a teacher sitting on the back of the table. There are two people in front of the table, that's the mother and the father, and there's one side, there's a student, maybe the child. Now the picture is this, the teacher is looking with the nose up in the air. You can understand from the expressions. Huh? The two, mother and the father, are sweating it out. So you can see they are so scared. And they're looking at the child, and the child is sweating more and bawling out, crying. And the down is written there 1964. Scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, the same table. It's like, you know, you have those pictures where you say, see what are the differences. The same table, the same teacher, the same two parents, and the same child. But look at the expressions now. The teacher is scared. She's with her hands into her, you know, all mouth and teeth, is biting her nails. The two parents are with their heads up and looking like this at the teacher. The teacher is sweating, and the child is happily enjoying how my teacher is getting scolded. Trust me, that is written there 2018. 1964, 2018. This is the scenario, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking, we have a tough time in schools, you know, getting on that kid who stands like this and watches how the parents scold the teachers and the education system. We're teaching that child. And we are trying to ape the West. We're trying to ape the West by this critical thinking and collaborative learning and stuff and all that stuff. But in aping the West, they say, lovely word in Hindi sentence, rather it says, nakal mein bhi akal chahiye. Nakal karo, lekin thode akal ke saath use karo. You know, so adapt it to your environment and then do the best. It's possible. But nahi, hum without akal, nakal karte hain. That's what we are. So, I have a little quaint phrase here which says, hi. So high E, okay, it says holistic, the H-I-E-E, holistic. Now, Dr. Srivastava said holistic, and I got a little scared. Said, oh, holistic. But this is not a WHOLISTIC. Holistic with a black hole in the center which sucks everything inside. Right? This is not that holistic. It is HOLISTIC. Holistic. God knows whatever it means. Okay? Holistic, I stands for integrated. Can we ever integrate everything into our systems? The E and the other E, one stands for enjoyable, the other E stands for engaging. Right now, if you're listening to me because I put the humor, you are engaged. If I hadn't put the humor and I read from a text, you're never to be engaged. You're looking at your watch saying, when is she going to stop blabbering out there? So holistic, integrated, engaging, and enjoyable is what exactly I feel, it's my acronym created for education of today. Now we have critical thinking, we are doing it in our schools, we have problem solving, we have multidisciplinary approaches, we have conceptual understanding, we have also communication. These are, they call it as 4 C's, or the 4 pillars of 21st century education. The best says it. But let us say, I feel personally, from all of these, critical thinking and so on and so forth, communication for me stands at the top of the whole thing. Communication is not just talking. According to me, communication is learning how to learn. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, learning how to learn. You need one key, ek chabi, the master key, to open many locks with that. Have you ever tried that in our schools, in our classes, anywhere else in our daily lives as well? Have you found some people are very successful where they go somewhere and they get everything done? But there are some people who go through the protocol and this and that and all, nothing is done. I'm not saying that they use wrong means. But there are some people who can get things done. There is one thing about them, and that's the soft skill, the emotional quotient, which they say you're not born with emotional quotient, you're born with IQ, but you can acquire EQ. So EQ is what? Judging the situation. So if a teacher is judging the situation in my class, what are my kids here? Okay, they are from a rural background and I'm going to teach them critical thinking. Oh my God, the spelling should be correct first. Right? So we are to judge as per the situation, put that masala into that as a teacher and get them into understanding, where am I? What am I? Who am I? And how am I? I think these ingredients are very important. That's what I mean by communication. So communication would be a little bit of cultural awareness, a little bit of empathy versus sympathy. We are more sympathetic, but we call ourselves empathetic. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of difference between the two. And teamwork versus individual work, perseverance. Now, teamwork versus individual work, I just want to share a small little instance. I am a very good friend, Skand Bali sir, the principal of one of the best schools, a wonderful friend of mine. We went along with some other principals to Spain. And if you remember, so in Spain, we went to Madrid, we went to Barcelona, we went to Toledo. And in Madrid, I think we went to a university and I forgot the name. Losing memory now. Anyway, that was a beautiful university, and then there we were made to sit down and listen to one person giving a talk, if you remember. So there was this lady there, and I was very affected by her, because normally I don't remember much, but somebody who influences you, you remember. So this lady was there, and she told us, they told them that these are Indian delegates that have come. So she said, oh, that's nice. And possibly she was an anthropologist, possibly, but she had something else which she said, which we couldn't understand. So anthropology is study of people, study of culture, study of, regions and different people. So I think she was that. So she said, I've been to a lot of countries, and I can tell you that I changed the mindset of people. That's my job. That was her job. How did she change? Then she trains them and all. So she said about various kind of countries, and I remember 2 or 3 which I'm going to share because it's connected with teamwork. So she said, I saw Japanese, the Americans, the Germans, I remember these particularly, and the Indians also, she said, and I'm going to talk to you about that. So she said when the Germans, they are very individualistic people, and Germans are mad about the machines. They're precision-based people. Everything is perfect, should be there. So they're very precise, and they're very, very qualitatively conscious people, and they make a lot of machines. So the one word about them is they're mad about machines. So their German precision is well known. So she said, when I was with the German people, and I could see that they were very well working in individual capacity. But she said, that's what I wanted to change. So I put them in a capacity to work in teams. Okay, and she said, there I could see the resistance on the faces of the Germans. They didn't give me the results at all. And she said, that was my deliberate attempt to see how would they react in a different situation, adaptability. They could not, and the output was, kind of bad. Then she said, talking about Japanese. Now, Japanese are people who follow the rules to the core. For them, it's like, you said it and I have to do it and I will not deviate. And very politely. So she said, so Japanese were told to work individually, collaboratively, teamwork, or maybe the reverse. And they are not the people who do that. They do a team. There's a good teamwork in Japan, but they were told to be individual. Germans are individualistic, they were told to be in teams. So Japanese were told, you are going to be, you are team people, but you're going to be individually working right now, whatever she gave them. And she said Japanese, could not protest. Others can protest, but so they were working and they were this thing, but they still kept a smile on their face. It's okay. But we know, she could feel that they were not able to take that we are going to be individual, because they are very team-oriented people and their success is on their teamwork. And so she put them individually. So she said, protested at all, but followed the rules. Never, kind of broke it. Americans, she said, are completely liberated people. They'll put their legs on the tables also, doesn't matter. They'll do it whichever way and then ultimately they'll laugh it out. But then they're creative. And then she said, Indians also have come across. I'm very confused. Are you people individualistic or you're team leaders? You are. She said, I could not understand whether Indians do it in team, because they can't do that. They fight. And whether they are individualistic, because there's nothing I saw which was very, very innovative. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking off from that lady, thanks to her. Indians, we are proud Indians. But where is our teamwork gone? Where is our creativity gone? Innovations gone? Which is in the employability now. People who are employed now, are they having these skills? No. The answer is no. So where we are lacking also, we are saying the child should have this and the school should do that and parents are, or angels around us and stuff like that. But what have we done for the teachers who are going to implement this? So we had this the National Education Policy, NEP 2019, which I was talking about, and there were a lot of people who were saying, give us your ideas and all, because they're still in the draft phase. So everywhere in the country it's going on and on and on. One of the ideas I gave, I don't know if they're going to take it or not, but I don't think they ever take it, they don't want to listen to it, is that education field in our country is given the last importance. Why? Because if you educate everybody, I'm not saying literacy, I'm saying education, which is a much broader term than literacy. If you educate everybody, what's going to happen? There'll be no votes going, no banks, no, this thing. Politicians have to swear it out. I'm sorry if there's anybody around, sorry. So, what's going to happen? You are going to lose out on all those things if you educate a lot of people. So, education is the last priority, and when it is the last priority over there, so education in NEP style, if you say, the teachers, who are the people who are basically the soldiers? The teachers, right? All of us are glorified teachers actually. So, what are we doing for this? So I had said, why don't we have a system where you have IAS, IPS, IRS, whatever, ICE, Indian Revenue Service, Indian Administrative Service. These are services, right? So who goes there? People who apply for that, they sit for a big entrance exam, and there's huge, the cream de la cream comes out, and then they are grilled in, and then they're put into the service, and you get all the bureaucrats and the police and whatever. Why not IES? Indian Education Service. Yeah? And get an Indian Education Service put up, and then, have the best people, attract them, pay them well, train them. So that's another food for thought for you also. NCRT might do something. So train them and put them on the place, and trust me, the entire scenario will change. Because it's believed that education today, when it comes to teaching, क्या कर रहे हो? कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, अभी past time है, तो चलो school में ही पढ़ाओ थोड़ा सा. This is education. Well, in other countries, That is considered to be that in a country, I think whether it's possibly Finland, I'm not sure about any other country, but there the traffic halts. It's like our VIPs going with that siren, no? The traffic halts if an educationist is traveling. So what do we have here? There's the last one, the least paid hero kind of profession, and it's okay, education. Kya hai? Teacher hai. Apna teacher hi apne ghar mein rakho, is what they say. So fact remains that let's have something here. We have to first empower this person who is delivering this, and I guess then I think communication, stuff like that will come in. I just would like to add a last point is that we were in the era of STEM education, STEM, and all over the world we went across. STEM is now taken over the entire world. Science, technology, engineering and mathematics. STEM. Now these woven together gives you critical thinking, collaborative work, but have you put it across the teachers also first? Please train them in STEM. And now STEM has changed into what global art is doing. It's doing STEAM education now. Ask me what is STEAM? Not the steam that comes from water vapor. Science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics. So they say art and design is an integral part of the learning process. Design particularly is an integral part. It's not that art and craft art. It's the art of everything, and it has to be put in education. If this is there, I think we have more than enough. We can reach that, and we are much more progressively, a country, people, as well as we don't look at the West. And the last part is the health and the physical education. That's exactly what even the CBSE is promoting. It was earlier called PT, physical training. Then it changed to PED, physical education, PED. Now it's changed to HPE, standing for health and physical education, which means that they are not undermining the fact that health, yoga, meditation, how to control your emotions, how to enjoy and celebrate success, how to enjoy and celebrate failure as well. And put it together with sports rolling into it, it is HPE. And I conclude last part, when I travel nowadays, when I travel in my car, I put on Radio Mirchi. I'm not promoting Radio Mirchi, by the way, 98.3. There was one person who was asking questions, and he was saying, can anyone tell me how do you, anybody who can tell me, give me a call on this number, they have some competitions. How do you celebrate failure? Oh, I thought that was brilliant. So I told my driver, I said, "Thoda volume badhao zara. How do you celebrate failure? If anybody wants to give your responses, give it, because we're going to give you some gifts, whatever." So I'm hearing now, somebody asked, you know what they said? One of very interesting one. We celebrate, how do you not how do you celebrate, how do you face failure? So one of them says, we celebrate it by a big party. Total big party. How have you become a failure? Because Einstein said, not Einstein, the one who created the bulb, what is his name? Thomas Edison. Alva Edison said, 1,000 times he made all mistakes. He said, it is not 1,000 times that I failed. It is that 1,001 time that I discovered that what it needs to be done. With these little words, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice, humorous time. Thank you.